warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Prof. Noraini, the Vice Chancellor of UMT, Excellency Professor from University Malaysia Terengganu, Professor Maslan. We were having a meeting in Manado as well as communication afterward. I think I have several colleagues and friends in Malaysia, especially in Terengganu. Since before I was part of the, even now, part of the university actually, but I was seconded to the Ministry Marine Affairs and Fisheries starting 2002 up to now. So I'll be living about more than 10 years or 15 years away from the University Technology 10 November in Surabaya. Nevertheless, that I still part of the university, and it is my pleasure and my delighted to be in university, having student and professor to be part of our communication. Just like I got kind of a battery being recharged when I came to, or when I come to the university. Indeed, my pleasure and my happiness to be here, because this is my second visit after we were visiting Bogor University, when we were having MOU with 4 universities in Indonesia. Prof. Noraini and colleague, we will proceed beside MOU with UMT. Actually, we will be having MOU with James Cook University. It was some in November 1st. We'll be having signing MOU, but unfortunately, the Vice Chancellor from James Cook University didn't get the visa from PNG. But we will be signing in Jakarta on November 30th, coming days. We also proceed MOU with Queensland University sometime in early January. So I think come along with UMT, we'll be having 7 MOU with university. It is part of our engagement to strengthen and develop the capacity building throughout the city region. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank you very much, especially to Prof. Noraini and a colleague for giving me opportunity to hold what you call it with the, in Indonesia term, Doctor Honoris Causa. So I think it is a privilege and actually heavy responsibility to maintain and to give effort to sustain, especially maintaining partnership CTI-CRF with UMT as well as other university. This will give not only UMT but also part of our engagement to establish a peaceful effort in Pacific region. If you visit like Solomon, Vanuatu, Samoa, and some other places, then you can feel that this situation is much advanced rather than the places that I've been visiting in the Pacific. So it is our duty to facilitate, to help them in such that might be opportunity that some of them getting a possibility to come over here, getting training, or might be getting education through a possible source of funding. So it is our responsibility in CTI-CRF to arrange several engagement to get funding, but we would like to have as well to get channel how to get education and training to be facilitated in the university. That's why most probably in UMT, might be in Sabah or in Bogor and some other university. Prof. Noreni and other colleague, I think last 2 days, on Monday, we were visited by WGS. WGS is World Conservation Society, is a NGO with knowledge-based activities. So many PhD in the society, and the president director was friend of mine. So hopefully that will be part of supporting funding through EU, through WGS will be part of our engagement in near future. So before I presenting the material, I would like to encourage Prof. Maslan and Pak Lukman to work together with other 4 universities as well as with James Cook University and Queensland to work together to make possible in the month or so work plan in engaging activities. So this is part of my introduction prior to my presentation. And in my presentation, actually I would like to have more comment or suggestion or question rather than we delivering information regarding CTI-CRF. So this is CTI-CRF. I think most of you knowing that CTI-CRF is covering from Indonesia, Malaysia, not Philippines, but alphabetically should go to Papua New Guinea and then Philippines, Solomon and Timor-Leste. Is huge area with biodiversity as well as with population. This is the spot of the Coral Triangle area. This is the situation of mangrove and seagrass. So there will be multi-billion tuna industry having small spawning ground in this area, as well as fulfilling for 370 million people in the area. But for Indonesia itself, the population is about 260 million, you know. So most of the population stay in your neighbor in Indonesia. This is the profile of the city country. I will leave the file to you, so I think there will be possibility if you have any question to send us a question, or you might interested in what you call it, be part of our activity in Manado, and then be a student, exchange student in Manado with UNSRAT or with UNHAS. This is part of our possibility that we will be engaged. So this is the declaration. The preparation prior to declaration, 2007, President Yudhoyono was mentioning regarding the potential engagement on multilateral partnership in the APEC summit in Australia. In 2009, it was May, it was launched, what we call it, during the World Ocean Conference, CTI-CRF declaration. 2015, establishing what we call it with the permanent secretariat and ratification established. So I was started as a director or executive director of the CTI-CRF on April 1st, 2015, whose country agreement was signed by the Ministry of Marine Affairs on December 1st, 2015. So many of engagement starting in the utilizing building, establishment host country agreement, and some other thing. This is the structure of organization. So we may see the regional secretariat. This is NCC, among of those Malaysia, Indonesia, and others. This is National Technical Working Group, and some other potential partners and NGOs. This is members and partners. We can see the members: Indonesia, Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, Philippines, Solomon, and Timor-Leste. Below that, we can see the ministry related. So in Malaysia, we work with MOSTI. In Indonesia, we work with Ministry Marine Affairs. In Papua New Guinea, we work with SEPA. It used to be DOE, Department of Environment. And Philippines with Department of Environment and Natural Resources and others. We have partners, USID, ADBGF, and others, as well as recently we were having MOU with SPREP, CIFDEC, GIZ. Hopefully in the minute we'll be signing MOU with UMT as well. This is the headquarters of CTI-CRF in Manado. Our building is quite huge. I think it's 2,000 square meter, four-story. You may visit there. I think hopefully there will be direct flight from KL to Manado, so that make more possible engagement. And you may station there for 3 months and then back to Kuala Terengganu and then expanding research or something like that. This is regarding ratification of the headquarters. So the recent one was Papua New Guinea, September 13, 2016. This is the threat in the Coral Triangle region. So we may having threat, but also opportunity. Challenge in the Coral Triangle. This is the challenge. The role of CTI-CRF in the regional organization. I will not spend that much in terms of engagement management, but I would like to elaborate the potential engagement and potential collaboration between CTI-CRF with UMT. Building good governance. This is strengthening national coordination. This is part of our mission, strengthening NCC. In Malaysia, the focal point of the ministry is MOSTI. So we would like make possible UMT having close communication with MOSTI as well as with other potential universities such as Sabah. Empowering CTI-CRF Technical Working Group, namely Seascape, Ecosystem Approach, EFM, Marine Protected Area, Climate Change Adaptation, as well as threatened species. Recently in the SOM, we were recommended to have a focus study how to make the envisioning on RPOA after 2020, because the RPOA will be ceased in 2020, so we start evaluating and envisioning regarding the potential, whether the RPOA will be changed or will be integrated. That's up to us. But one of the example, marine protected area and threatened species, for example, can be collaborated or partnered by having, for example, marine ecotourism. So those kind of thing is economic development engaging into 2 technical working group. I think sharing with university, that will be giving us opportunity to have deeply study by university, professor, student, and researcher to make potential the CTI-CRF RPOA not only discussing on the sustainability but also economic potential, because I think now we have to think how to drive engagement into economic or potentially economic activities. This is the thing that we have to bring about to make sustainability of the organization. This is building broad partnership. We try to have several engagement and partnership. After sign up the we call it contract, with the this is chair of Council of Minister, Minister Pondari. This is the chair of Council Minister CTI-CRF. Now it's moving to Minister Lopez in Philippines. This is we met with the Minister Environment in Australia. We were having several signing MOU. This is RPF in Bali. That was August 2015. We were having several engagement with GIZ. Recently, last March 2016, we were having MOU with GIZ. I was spending some time in EU to make possible engagement, how to get funding from EU, especially on climate change adaptation and mitigation, as well as environment. I think this is several engagement when we were having MOU with GIZ. Collaboration project between CTI-CRF with Ocean Fishery Partnership. This is still undergoing, and then hopefully we will be finishing up our budget plan under the facilitation of USID, USDOI. We're still communicating regarding potential budget allocation for CTI-CRF under the support of USID. Capacity building and partnering with university, James Cook, Queensland, University Malaysia, Terengganu. Last month I was visiting Solomon Island, Honiara. There will be possibility as well MOU with SINU, Solomon Island National University, part of strengthening NCC in Solomon Island. So there will be potential engagement as well, UMT with Solomon, for example, because I think rather than Solomon sending to Europe or somewhere, that might be opportunity to send a student from Solomon to study in UMT rather than with expensive university in Europe or in Australia. This is the thing that we might have arranged another possibility. This is the plan that we were planning with USID. Integrated sustainable benefit on marine coastal resources, improve fish catch. This is the thing that we have been developing in the activities under the project with USID RGME. This is strengthening capacity building with potential public-private partnership. So this is the view regarding why is that we utilize scheme PPP. I think Prof. Nuraini already mentioned before. And PPP has been utilized in several universities, not only in Southeast Asia or Pacific, mostly also in Europe, especially in Turkey when I was there. Many engagement, development, especially utilizing PPP. In Turkey, they are very radical in terms of building, for example, infrastructure, airport. If you remember or recall, Sabiha Gökçen Airport was part investment from Malaysia and also from private sector in Turkey, but also from public owners. So I think this is the thing that we might have ability to bridge possibility PPP in the region of Coral Triangle region. This is the double track or second track diplomacy. I think now diplomacy is not only just utilizing diplomat, but we may, or you as professor or might be student, can be part of diplomat, exchange student, exchange scientists, exchange researcher, can be part of diplomatic effort making the Southeast Asia and Pacific more peaceful, more having engagement on food security, for example. So this kind of thing is what we call it with track to diplomacy approach utilizing CTI-CRF. Several engagement on the track to diplomacy by having or utilizing technical working group, for example, under the EFM, or might be utilizing marine protected area. So we have to be smart in utilizing what we call it the regional plan of action. Having such researcher in UMT, we might collaborate or through partnering with CTI, we might able to bridge with Bogor University, or might be in the climate change adaptation with Surabaya Institute of Technology, because they are close with Kyoto University as well as Tohoku University in Japan. So this is the thing that make us more positive or looking forward the future rather than just we are working ourselves in the region. This is the essence of the community participation and capacity building. When we recall in terms of changing our attitude in climate change adaptation, then we have to have awareness, understanding, acceptance, and changing the behavior. This is the way how we persuade from knowledge up to think that we are doing something. So when we deliver from, for example, UMT to our people in Solomon Island or PNG on climate change adaptation mitigation, then we would like to utilize this kind of procedure. So this is the list of university partnership. Some doses already signed, but we still have processing. In a minute, we will be having UMT as well as two other Australian university. This is the scheme of the partnership initiative. Why is that we need that? I think this is the part that Prof. Maslan with Prof. Luki from IPP, with Daniel Rosid from Surabaya, who will be attending, I think, coming days, with Pak Lukman, might be discussing the way how we proceed with activities in a month or so. I think this is during the, what we call it, the WESPEC meeting in Yogyakarta. We met with Prof. Noraini. I think I was preaching with UTY. UTY is the University Technology Yogyakarta, is private university. The rector is Prof. Brambang Hartati. He is graduated from USM, University in Malaysia, as well as our Minister of Higher Education and Research, Prof. Nasir, is graduated from USM as well. So I think that will be good. But the UTY basically in computer science, financial, on those kind of activities. So we might bridge this university as well with another potential engagement, not only on marine or technology, but in the world, some other thing can happen. This is Pak Lukman discussing in Bali with other German graduate or student. It was spices or something, Pak Lukman. So several engagement, and the other one is Prof. John Chocklin from, he is Senior Vice Chancellor from Australia. This is Prof. Mambi from Queensland University. This is the Vice Chancellor from SUNY, Solomon Island. I was visiting last month. And several engagement in Bogor University. You know, we were delivering speech prior MOU with 4 university in Indonesia. So we make once with 4 universities at Bogor University. So we try as well several engagement to get scholarship from Ministry Research, Technology and Higher Education, as well as from Ministry Marine Affairs and Fisheries. So through this engagement, we would like to have potential support to the Pacific state, how to make the education and training viable to them, because they have difficulties to get funding and to get support. Then hopefully that Malaysia also will be able to support for the Pacific region. But in Indonesia, I think at least we got 10 for per year to support the Pacific state in studying or getting training in Indonesia. So in conclusion, I think CTI-CRF is part of our engagement in conserving, managing the sustainability, but also beside those kind of things, we have to properly use. So not only conserve, but we have to use to provide food security. So we cannot just conserve, but we have to use properly. Code of conduct to make properly our marine resources being utilized properly. PPP will be a vehicle to make possible activities in the not only Southeast Asia, but in the Coral Triangle region, because PPP will be empowering the public activity involving in marine sector engagement. CTI-CRF will be utilizing track 2 diplomacy, one of those education training in part of making establishing the peaceful environment in the Southeast Asia and the Pacific. Financial support and technical assistance should be maintained to energize. So we have to find somehow from several partners such as ADB, GF, World Bank, and some others to get a kind of vehicle as part of the engine to make the partnership between UMT, CTI-CRF, and other universities running well. So hopefully that having such MOU with UMT will be energizing our activities not only in Malaysia but also in the Coral Triangle region. This is our mission to make our closer. We have been putting away due to the distance. I think rarely Malaysian or UMT student flying to Manado. So by having this MOU, hopefully that will be viable in Manado, opening direct flight at least to KL. So that will be Terengganu, KL, Manado. So that will be shorten our distance, make closer to us, as well as making closer for research activities. After having the Manado, and then you may visit Manila, because there will be direct flight from Manado to Manila. We would like to have also from Port Moresby to Indonesia. Now we have direct flight from Port Moresby to Bali and Denpasar, then from Denpasar to Manado. So make closer link between the CTI region and to facilitate researcher student mobility, you should move faster to the region. We will be looking forward to the Pacific because the resources now mostly in the Pacific region, If we look upon to the east, China, Japan is already finished with resources, and there are many of them more competitive, So we have to look to the east, Samoa, Solomon, Vanuatu, some other places in the Pacific region. This is the effort utilizing CTI-CRF as umbrella to make possible engagement or student in UMT as well as the member state mobility of researchers, students, and businesswomen and men, hopefully, will be part of this engagement. Because without businessmen, we cannot work on the private sector. So hopefully not only governmental support, but also the private sector will follow our activity. I think that will be all my material to be delivered to you. I don't know whether that will be possible question answer, or I just leave it to the moderator to arrange this kind of thing. But it is my pleasure and happiness to be here, to be back in the university, part of the rejudging process to myself, because it is been away from university, because I was serving in Jakarta and then moved to Istanbul, then moved to Manado. So I think it is the time that we may have sharing at least for 4 days or so. I'll be here up until Saturday. So hopefully we do have time to share knowledge, experience, and some other opportunity. Again, thank you, Prof. Noreni, Prof. Maslan, for having me this possibility and opportunity. And again, thank you for student, professor, and researcher to making possible the UMT working closely with CTI-CRF as well as CT6 member country. Thank you very much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. God bless us. Thank you very much.